No, we don't see Chad in the video.
We're going live right now. We're trying this out for the first time. So can I get a, I can't see anything.
You're going to be fabulous. You go.
Okay, hold on. We're still doing this. So
Let's see. Yes.
I can't do it that way. I gotta look at Zoom though.
Yeah, so
Okay, I think we're good. We're good. Good morning, coaches. Welcome to the National Wake Up Call. This is the pre-call contest. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2018. I'm Sandy Buadana. Is it okay? Are we live? Are we on? Oh, I have people watching. Okay. We're live from Facebook, so I know what you're thinking already, that, hey, that's what Sandy looks like. I know, a lot taller on camera, right? Anyway, today is a really very special day because not only do we have top coach, four-time top coach, Melanie Mitro on the National Wake Up Call, but today is the first time in over 7 years that we are going live on video with the National Wake Up Call. I know, it's about time, right? It was Jeff who was reluctant to go video. Okay, so let's just keep that between us girls, all right? So anyway, now you get to see what happens behind the scenes, which is, hair, makeup, all that stuff. That's what we were doing when we were doing it in an audio. So nevertheless, I hope you like this format. Just so you know, we're still broadcasting to the phone. So if you are a creature of habit and still calling the 832 number, no problem. We're still on. And if you listen to the podcast after this, we're still going to send it over to Apple so you can listen to it while you work out or drive to work. So I want to give some prizes to some contest winners from last week's contest. Here are the questions that I asked and a couple of names. Number one, how many different workouts do you get in 80-day obsession? I know these are easy things right now, but that was the question. The first correct answer that came in was, of course, 80 workouts. And the winning answer came from an Emerald coach from Tipton, California, Adela Montgomery. Hi, Jeff. Jeff is peeking in right now. Jeff, you're on video with me. So, okay, he's gone. We're going to try this out, right? A little bumpy, but we're going to have a lot of fun. And you know what? I know all you coaches know how to do this Facebook Live thing, but this is not my wheelhouse, so we're going to move on. Number two, the question that I asked on Christmas Eve, do you remember the sweater that Jeff was wearing in his famous video? He shared a special message, and was that message about cats have feelings too? Was it about what you're all doing as coaches is making a difference? Or was it sweaters with built-in ties are pretty cool? And of course, the answer was what you're doing is making a difference. So we had a winning coach, a one-star diamond coach from Freedom, Pennsylvania, Scott Phillips. So we have a special gift for both of you today, and I'm going to bring on Darren Ashby to show what that gift is. Darren, are you there? Come on in.
Hey, good morning, Sandy.
Hey, Darren. It's nice to see you after all these years. We've just been.
I know. Kind of crazy, right?
Really crazy. Well, you look very handsome, and pretty soon we're going to see a little bit of snow on those capped mountains behind you.
I don't know. It's looking pretty grim right now. So,
what is the prize that Adela and Scott are getting for the correct answer? Ooh.
That right, so you can see that right there.
The 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. So thank you for that. Now, Darren sits right next to that Utah prize closet. So he's got a lot of goodies in there. But I do want to mention that the whole month of January, that personal development book called 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins is what we're giving all the contest winners from the pre-call contest. So that's the 5-second rule. Transform your life, work, and confidence with every day. So if you would like to play in today's contest, all you have to do is either email us at coachcall@beachbody.com, or you can use Twitter if you use that thing at all, and that's TBB Coach 411, or you can comment right here on Facebook. So that's the exciting thing. We're going to grab a couple of winners for this week's contest. So number one, What's the name of our new gluten-free yummy snacks that are only 150 calories and 10 grams of protein? Again, what's the new yummy gluten-free snack? Only 150 calories and 10 grams of protein. What is that? Question number 2. January is double trip dollars month. What is double trip dollars? What does that mean? How does that work? Again, double trip dollars month. So we've got that. Those are the 2 questions. And now I'm going to do some announcements, Darren, and then I'll bring you back to do some really cool recognition. All right?
Sounds good. I'm going to jump off.
Well, I'm going to do the official welcome because this is also on podcast. So good morning, coaches. This is your wake-up call. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2018. And it's incredible. It's a brand new year. I know we had a call on the 1st, but now we're doing this call as the first one, real one of the year. And we're back from Super Saturday weekend. So if you were able to hit a Super Saturday, congratulations. But if you were hit with the flu or with a bomb cyclone this past weekend, I hope you're okay and feeling better. But just so you know, we're going to put the Super Saturday video up in the coach office today, so you'll get to see everything that we shared. So, and today I'm going to make the announcements. We've got 3 things that you need to know for the week, and I'm going to make these announcements with some visuals. I know, right? This is the 21st century, guys, right? Share screen. Here we go. Oh, I think I'm starting with this one first. Okay, announcement number 1 is the January Summit Ticket Special. If you didn't hear in Super Saturday, now through January 31st, the Summit 2018 tickets are $145. That is $150 in savings. It is the lowest price offered to attend at this year's event. I want to know what you're waiting for. This is the investment you need to make. We do one coach summit a year. Do it. Buy it today. $145 is a great price. But you know what? I want to stop sharing my screen for a second and do something. I want somebody who's sitting near me. Carrie,
Yes.
I want you to come over here and say hello to everybody.
Why?
Okay, this is somebody that has been managing the Coach Summit every single year. She is the head of all network productions, leadership, New Leader Conference, Super Saturday, Surge, Summit. Come here. Carrie Dobro.
Hello.
Please
and
say hello.
Goodbye.
No, that is, I just want to say thank you. There's not enough recognition that goes out for this lady right here, a good friend of mine who does so many network productions. And we are now on the screen together because many of you think I'm the voice of Shakeology. I'm not. She's the one in the Tony Checks Out Shakeology video. She's the one that does all that motivational sound. So I just wanted to say thank you for all your help. And she's helping me
High
produce.
fives. Don't leave me hanging. Okay. Have a good call. Bye, guys.
Okay,
Love you.
back to sharing. Sorry, I just, it's 2018. It's the year of women, so I hear. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen so we can get the announcements. Here we go. So go get your summit ticket now, coachsummit.com. That is Carrie Dobro's wheelhouse, so you better go. Okay, number 2 announcement for the week, Team Cup Summit Edition. Okay, we're doing some very cool stuff for Team Cup because we really want you to get to Summit this year. So February's Team Cup, we're going to be rewarding everybody for their hard work with recognition and prizes that you can enjoy at Summit. So, including, you're going to earn an exclusive live workout featuring a brand new program, on-stage team recognition, and a VIP experience. Do not forget that Team Cup registration opens January 15th. So please get your team of 5 together, and you can get more information at FAQ 9753. But this is the Team Cup edition. So get it going for January 15th. That's a big day next week. Okay, last announcement for the week is 80-day obsession program materials are now available on Beachbody On Demand, such as the eating plan, the calendar, the starter guide, we're adding some videos that have quick start tips, eating plan tips, and the first weekly obsession episode. Now, if you're following the challenge group guide, you can already start your challenge group today at week 0. Exciting stuff also is that Spanish and French materials will be available by January 13th. All this information is at FAQ 8020. So let me stop sharing my screen here. Back to me. And I just want to say, hey, this was a lot of fun. We're going to do this if you like it. We have 50 more of these National Wake Up Calls this year. So we'll do them live for you on Facebook. So with that, I want you to have a great week. And now I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Recognition himself, the voice, Darren Ashby. Darren.
Okay, so we're trying to get the video to start here. Got it.
All right, I'm going to take it away, Darren.
Thanks, Sandy. Great job. All right. Good morning, coaches. Welcome to another week of advancements and our new format where you get to see my great hair. But enough said about that. All right. Let's jump right in with our newest Diamond coaches this week. Starting off with Adawi Alicia Anderson, Marissa Andrus, Samantha Barlow, Katie Barrera, Trudy Bierman, Anna Bruce, Brenda DeCock, Norman Dean, Jenny DeWin. From Canada, Sandra Dufour, Morgan Elliott, Marissa Fort. From Canada, Jillian Harper, Ashley Hollyfield, Catherine Keys, Kalia Lewis, Megan McDowell, Kristen Perez, Jennifer Ricci, Brian Rulison, Judith Schoenfeld, Kristen Waxsmith, and Josh Young. Great group of diamonds there. Now for the new star diamonds this week. We have Heather Coolidge, Courtney Postlewaite, and in a secondary CBC, Ali Uppa. And moving on to a new 2-star diamond this week. Congratulations to Dara Rockholt, new 2-star. And our newest 5-star diamond coaches, congratulations to Reagan Long. And we have a new 6-star diamond this week. That would be Tracy Balderak. And also a new 7-star diamond coach this week. Congratulations to Amy Rada. All right. That's it for ranks this week. Now on the Top Success Club point earners for the week. And with 90 points this week, congratulations to Emily Robidas, Amy Silverman, Ashley Smith, Melanie Mitro, and Melissa St. Laurent. All right. And coaches, it's now my pleasure to introduce the 2018 Elite 10 coaches at the top, at the number 10 spot. Congratulations to Ashley Smith. Number 9, Holly Hillier. Number 8, Amy Silverman. Number 7, Lindsay Matway. Number 6, Melissa McAllister. Number 5, Moira Kusaba. Number 4, Bonnie Engel. Number 3, Ruth Schroner. Number 2, Ashley Molstad. And our 4th time top coach of the year, incredible, none other than Melanie Mitro. All right, congratulations to you and your teams, ladies. Amazing, amazing accomplishment this year. And I think that's it for this week of advancements. So congratulations to everyone on the call. And it wouldn't be complete unless I said to make it a fantastic week. All right. So now it's my pleasure to welcome to the call, Mr. Jeffrey Hill. Jeff?
Man, when you call me Jeffrey Hill, I feel like it's my mother talking to me. The only people that ever say that is Jeffrey when I'm in trouble. But I'll take that as just a term of endearment, Darren. So hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Well, listen, this is a new format. This is exciting. And I want to go back just for a second to a couple of things that Sandy said, because this is a week. This is a historic week as far as I'm concerned, leading up to 80-day obsession. With all of the content that's there, the test group is almost ready to start, and this is your opportunity, that last surge, if you will, to get people into the 80-day obsession, people that you're going, I've got to get to Darren, I've got to get to Sandy and talk about that. This is that last opportunity, something that we've never done before, but people are looking for hope. People are looking for solutions. People are looking for community. And we have services and products and a community that can help people achieve that. So guys, that's where you come in. And the information that you're going to get today from Mel is certainly going to help you. So take advantage of this. We just came back from, I don't even know how many cities. We had over 200 cities that were listed for our Super Saturdays. I know Carl was at 4 cities. Autumn was at 4 cities. We had trainers in every city and corporate representation in so many cities. And there was this enthusiasm and this vision and bright eyes for the future of people wanting to change their lives. But today is the day when it counts. Today is the day when your feet hit the ground, where you put what you learned into action. And certainly this morning, you're going to have that opportunity. So we're going to jump in, and it would only be fitting that we start this year, right after Super Saturday, with an individual who really is remarkable, stunningly remarkable, 4-time Elite 10 coach, top 10 2018 top coach of the year, 5-time Elite coach, Superstar 2 Diamond, 77 lifetime diamonds. I'm reading some of the things here. 2017 CEO Award recipient, 480, almost 500 people of her coaches have submitted their results to the challenge contest. That's the kind of stuff when you know that you're making a difference. And there, as you get to know Mel, you'll see that she is this individual that is just one of those great people who want to make a difference and is built a phenomenal business off of doing things consistently and correctly. And that kind of consistency has created some great rewards, and she's touched a lot of people's lives. So anyway, enough of the accolades. Let's let what you say speak for itself. Mel, let's have you jump on the phone.
Hey there, Jeff. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I can see you. And we're letting the other guys kind of run the controls. So we're just trusting them that they'll make it work well. But congratulations on 4-time top coach.
Thank you. Thank you. It's exciting.
Well, it's exciting and it's well deserved. You've been in the business, 6.5 years now. You're married. You're a mom of 2 great boys. You live in Mars, Pennsylvania. I'm not going to give people your address. They'll come and stalk you and come and say, "Hey, can we have lunch? Can we have dinner?" And the thing is about you would say, "Sure, let's make that happen." But so let's jump into some of the content. When people look at you, they may go, "Oh yeah, she was born this way. It just fell into her lap. She is so different than the rest of us because it just happens." And I think we all, when we really think about it, we all know better. There's been a becoming of who you are. But as you look at this year, how was this achieving 4-time top coach different than other years?
Sure. So this year was totally different. As I look back over the past, 6.5 years of my business, and I look at what this year, what being top coach in 2018 is, emotional would probably be the word that I could say that describes it the most. It's not like in one fell swoop I became the 4-time top coach. There's a lot of things that you don't see on the outside, a lot of the not glamorous and unpretty things that I did to get there. And as I kind of look at what this year really means, I found myself really learning how to work smarter. But I would say that this year I probably worked the hardest. I will say that this year was the year where it didn't come easy. There were a lot of struggles. There were a lot of obstacles and mountains that I had to overcome. And if I look back, the first year leading up to being top coach, it really started with building that solid foundation. For the first few years of my business, it was inviting and starting challenge groups and helping my customers get great support and learning those basics and growing my influence. And so that first year was this huge, exciting sort of like I've arrived at the top coach moment. And the second year was kind of a breaking the record. And the third year was like, okay, we've mastered the momentum and we've got these business basics down and we've been refining our trainings and helping people get started right. And this year was really different in the sense that social media has really shifted and changed the way that I came into coaching, and the way that we market ourselves now on social media has changed. And I found myself this year going back to being a student. I found myself adjusting to the way that we advertise, the way that we post. I found myself adjusting to just changes in the business and a lot of the obstacles that we've had to face, in 2017. And I can say, we had to work really hard to maintain what we had. And looking back, it's been, I look at the people that ended this year that contributed to us being the 4-time top team. And I feel so blessed and honored to spend my time working with really great people. So this year was emotional because I feel like we found the right people that we wanted to work with. I feel like we fine-tuned ourselves. I feel like we're starting to get this well-oiled machine where our leadership is kind of coming together. So it's just a big win, not for me personally, but I really feel like for my organization, it was such a big win for us. So it was very, very different this year, and it was not easy by any means. We really worked hard this year.
Yeah, well, the thing that I think is remarkable about that, I don't know whether they're picking me up on video or not, but is that I think there's always words that are embedded in what you just said, and part of what you said was this concept of the reinvention, of the finding, of the need to change. And it would be very easy for someone in your situation to go, man, been pretty successful, but let's identify what's not working. And there's pain and discomfort in that process, right? But you've worked through that and pulled through that, and again, some very, very good things have happened. Through the year, one of the things that we do as a company is we throw leaderboards up there. We measure success club. We look at challenge pack sold. We look at the elite standings, all of those kinds of things. And sometimes it's important to measure your business, right? And know where you stand. Do those things act as a distractor to you? Are they a motivation to you? How do they play with you in your business?
Mm-hmm. Personally, I have always been the kind of person that I put my blinders on and I put my head down and I just do my business. And very rarely do I find myself watching what other people in the company do. And I just focus on doing my job to the best of my ability and supporting my customers and my coaches. But I do take the leaderboards. I do take the rank advancements. I do talk to my team. Every month when the numbers come out, we recognize our downline coaches who are advancing and are moving up. And then even last year, as we were going through the year, and I would say, hey, this is where we are as, a top team in the organization. Here's what number we are. Every time I would go in and I would say, all right, team, here's where we're at. If we weren't in that number one spot, they were saying to me, well, what do we need to do to get there? And, they were driving the momentum this entire year. And so they would ask, what are the requirements to be a top team? How do we contribute? How does our behaviors and our success club points and our volume sort of contribute to where we fall in the rankings? And so I really watched them let that be. It wasn't a deterrent. It was a driver. They knew that they were part of something bigger. They knew that having that behind their name as they were, advertising, we are the top team. They just really took ownership of that. But I also just made it very clear that it wasn't the Melanie show, that I couldn't do this alone and that we are a team. And the more that we talked about that, the more that the light bulb started to go off, and people just really got behind being a top team, and they're really proud of that. And so that really has been a motivator throughout the year for us to kind of see where we fell and what we could do to be better. And then we would just work together to make sure that we were focused on the right activities. So yeah, definitely a motivating force for them.
Yeah. So to me, the key piece in that, we keep looking at this a bit as the top coach of the year. But to me, as I look at that on my manure coach, I say, okay, what's the principle? What's the practice that somebody can pull out of that? And I found a lot of times with newer coaches, with a lot of businesses, they don't want to look at the numbers because the numbers will tell them something that they don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. And a successful business is always going to track. They're always going to be aware of where they are and what they're doing and how they're measuring up. And that which we measure, we improve upon. So as a new coach, I would follow Mel's and her team's example to say, man, I'm using the business activity tracker. I'm looking where I stand in other areas. I am doing a weekly, a monthly check. And in fact, your regional sales guys are there to help you in addition to your upline, because they can help you recalibrate in your business. And that's how success is sequential. It's built upon each other. And this understanding of your numbers and where you are, that's how you course correct. So to me, that's one of these, when we say success leaves clues, that's one of the clues, new coaches, that you should be picking up on. Track your business, use it as a motivator, not as a deterrent to your business. So Mel, you were talking a little bit earlier about this past year. It wasn't just this ride up. That there was some ups and downs and some challenges. Was there a point really where you thought, man, this is really tough sledding? I've got to dig deeper, and that moment of truth of kind of going, okay, what do I do?
Yeah. And I really had to think about when did it start to shift? And so, with the launch of Beachbody On Demand in 2017, we noticed just the way we did business was a little bit different. And then I also noticed that even social media was starting to change. I started to notice, and it was very slow decline in the traction that I was getting on even my personal Facebook page, on my Instagram posts. And I really began to notice that things were going down, but I had built up such great momentum that it didn't affect me as much as I saw it affecting my downline. And I started to see this frustration in my organization. I started to see frustration in my coaches. And it was probably about July. It was about the second quarter of 2017. It was right after our Summit product launch, when we didn't see this big jump in volume, that big jump in income that we usually see with a product launch. And I saw my coaches getting frustrated, that I thought, I really need to lean into this. And we're going to have to really start looking at, okay, what are the new trends in social media, and how do we kind of rebrand ourselves, and how do we remarket? And so I found myself saying, okay, I'm not very educated on how to use IG stories, and I'm not very educated on Instagram. I've built my business primarily through my blog and through Facebook. And while now I have, a large social media influence, my team does not. And so I really went back to saying, okay, as the leader, I have to lead from the front, and I'm going to go back to being a student. And so I took, I blocked out time every single week in my calendar to say, be a student, Melanie, learn Instagram and learn how to market yourself differently, learn how to up your social media game. And then what I did was I started to use that, and I started to create new trainings, and I went back through and I kind of pulled all of the irrelevant content that I had been teaching my team previously and said, all right, this is the new way to launch your business. This is the new way to invite to challenge groups, because what we were doing before was not working. And so, for a while there, before I started that, I was having coaches that were going in and coming out really, really quickly. And so what happened is, over the course of, those few months between July and until the end of the year, we learned how to use curiosity marketing. We talked about the quality of our content versus the quantity on social media. And so I've started to notice that this year, that trend has kind of changed, and coaches are starting to get that excitement back, because they're more well received, and the engagement is better. But it was a really hairy few months where people were questioning whether or not they could do this business, whether or not they could be successful at it. And so for me personally, it was a lot of trust the process. We're figuring this out. We're getting better as the company is figuring out new ways to market and new ways to offer packages, to help coaches have success. I was trying to help my coaches have success on that social media front. And so, that was emotional, because I don't like to see my coaches struggle. And I feel like when they sign up with me, that I want them to be successful, and I do take personal responsibility. So, this year was kind of that year where I had to say, okay, I need to lead from the front, and I got to dig in, and I've got to change some things, because obviously what we were doing is not working any longer. So, that's kind of what I noticed over this past year.
Well, again, I think the piece is, if I'm a new coach, I'm listening, I'm looking at this and saying to myself, okay, what did I just learn from what she just said? And it's this piece of businesses change, and they do evolve. And yes, there's seasons where there are sweet spots where you've kind of got it dialed in, and then the business environment changes, and you have to be willing to change. When you're through changing, you're through. And what you did, you just talked about, I got into this point where I would block out time and become a student. Mm-hmm. And then I would implement something to see, if it's going to work or not. Let me just ask this question really quick. As you start to put new things in place and test, how long do you give them to run before you kind of go, maybe not, maybe so? What's your tolerance level with that?
I think it kind of depends. I also know anytime when you start something new, especially on social media, anytime you implement a new process or a new plan, it's like our fitness journey. We can't just say after the first week of working out and following the meal plan, oh, I didn't lose 10 pounds, so this must not work, right? We know that the compound effect also happens in our fitness journey. So I do look at the business the same way. I always say to myself, all right, at the end of 2 weeks, how is it going? The first week, usually it's not much different. You're kind of building up momentum and you're getting some new eyes. And what I do is I track it based on results. So anytime I implement something new, I also have my business activity tracker and I say, is this producing new sales, new customers, new followers, new coach signups? And so if at the end of, 2 weeks, at the end of 30 days, if it's not working, then I know I need to slightly tweak the plan of attack. I don't want to completely change or, just kind of throw by the wayside and say, forget this. But it's kind of these small, like fine tuning until we get the right strategy. And honestly, that requires a lot of patience because it's something that you have to give time. It takes time to kind of fail forward, readjust, learn from it, try again. And I just keep going until we figure it out. And I still think we're learning. We are constantly in this learning process.
As you look at this past, just this last year, is there anything that you said, here was a key learning? I know we haven't really rehearsed this, talked about this, but you go, here was something that I did learn that I before, or a new skill set that I've had to develop that I didn't have before. Was it Instagram stories? Was it expanding more into social media? Was it going back to some basics that had been, abandoned in some way?
Right. I would say probably the biggest skill that I had to learn this year, it was Instagram. It was Instagram stories. It was, and this is another thing, when 6.5 years ago, we posted on social media 3 to 4 times a day. And that was always kind of the standard. And it was kind of this checking of the boxes. Did I post 3 to 4 times a day? And now that has shifted and it's much more of like a 2 times a day, and it's quality. It is quality over quantity, and it's changing the way you're talking. It's not using words like Beachbody or Shakeology or Energize. It's that curiosity marketing so that people will ask you questions. So that was a big shift. And then this thought of Instagram stories, where Instagram stories is kind of your unfiltered day-to-day life. And that was very much what my Facebook posts were before. And now that's sort of the unfiltered. And then my Instagram or my Facebook is just very specific and well thought out planned posts that catch your eye. So that was a big shift for me that I have adopted. And I feel like I'm still learning how to effectively use that strategy.
Was that uncomfortable for you?
Yeah, because you think about it, it's like I'm the old dog and I've been doing this for so long now. And I could have very easily said, whatever, I'm not going to learn a new skill. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I realized that if I wanted to stay relevant in my business, I had to learn how to change. And so it was awkward. It was very awkward trying to figure out my new posting schedule. And I found myself going back to just this calendar, planning out my posts and planning what I was saying. And it took more time than before. So it was a little uncomfortable at first.
Yeah. And I hope what new coaches are hearing, all old coaches, all coaches everywhere are hearing is that, change is uncomfortable. And there is a discipline around that and some discomfort before you get to that sweet spot. But, it's that rinse and repeat, being curious, putting it in place, being patient. And that's the same for new coaches. So let's switch the gears a little bit right now, Mel, and talk about, as you look at new coaches, what would you say, guys, here's what you should focus on in order to create the greatest opportunity for success in your business?
Sure. So I really do, and if I even can I'll use what I do to train my new coaches, is I focus on number one, the coach's journey. So your story is your biggest asset in building your business. So having a story with a product or a program and Shakeology is like the base level. Any new coach, if you're just starting out, this is your first national wake up call, or maybe you've gotten away from the business and you're coming back and saying, this is going to be my year. I'm going to re-engage and I'm going to make this business work. I start with you first. That's the most important thing. Commit to doing a program from beginning to end, commit to taking people on that public journey and share every single up and down and step along the way. And then the second thing that I always say for new coaches is retailing. Starting and running effective challenge groups, setting a start date for a new challenge group every single month, setting the goal to, and I always say this, if you are a slow and steady, I just want to do the bare minimum, then I always say, set your goal for Success Club 5. But if you are somebody that really sees the opportunity and you want to make this work, then set it for SC 10 or higher. Set a goal for getting 5 to 10 new customers into a challenge group every single month. And then create raving fans. Like, make it your mission to say, I'm going to run the best challenge groups. I'm going to help my customers get the best support. I'm going to help them navigate that meal plan. Because if I can create success stories out of my customers, they're going to share the word with others. They're going to recommend people to me. It's going to give me credibility, and it's going to help me to be able to go out there and market myself. And so once you get these challenge groups and running these effective challenge groups under your belt, and you know how to master that, and you will become more efficient, then add on the level of growing a team. Because when you bring in your first coach into the organization, you're going to have to teach them how to run challenge groups, how to invite, how to follow up. And so you might as well use yourself as the guinea pig and say, I'm going to be the best that I can be so that I can teach the next person that's signing up with me. So I do say basics, running your challenge groups, then focusing on building your business. Another thing too is the book that I love that has really helped me kind of turbocharge, my business and my coaches is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That's a really good one if you want to say, how do I kind of blow this thing out of the water as soon as possible? And I think the last thing for new coaches is to have a clearly defined why. What does this business mean to you? How are you defining your success? And to know that it's okay if it's not the same thing as your upline, or it's not the same thing as other people on social media that you follow. But saying, every day when I sit down to do the vital behaviors, I'm doing it for this reason, whether it's your family or finances or your own fitness journey. But having that very clearly defined, and even on a note card or as the screensaver of your desktop, that'll help keep you going when you do get objections or when you hit, roadblocks or obstacles. So I think those are my basics that I would drill in for new coaches.
Yeah, I mean, there was what you just said could be a call all in and of itself. But one of the things you started with was this: it needs to start with you and with your journey and the sharing of that journey. And interestingly, we did a study, a survey. We pulled about 4,000 of coaches across the board that were growing over time, and we kept trying to find the smoking gun, that golden vein of exactly what they were doing. And we didn't. It was interesting. The one thing we found was, regardless of how long they were in the business, that is what they were doing. They were in a program, sharing their program, consistently sharing their results. And as we talked to them, that was this piece that consistently just surfaced to the top. And that cannot be overlooked. That piece of you in a program, you sharing your results, regardless of where you are with everyone else, because that becomes the attractor. That becomes the relate ability. That gives you the ability to then run effective groups and attract other people to you. Okay, we're running out of time here, Mel. We talked a little bit about the learning site, a little about teams, but let's just jump to this last question, a couple last questions on. This is a business of consistency. I don't think it's a business of being overly complicated, but of consistently and doing things correctly. How would you define consistency in this business?
I feel like there's a few moving parts to defining consistency, but I would say that if I had to define it, it would be this idea of 24/7, whatever it takes. but purposeful. So when I talk about consistency, it's not, and so many people will sit down and work their Beachbody business and they will just be scrolling the news feed and watching videos and, watching what other coaches are doing. But this idea of consistency with purpose, and my word for 2018 is intentional. So, and this kind of feeds right into this. So consistency with intentionally doing the right business activities. And so when I look at that, it is consistency with my invites every single day, or measuring it weekly, consistently adding new customers or new followers or new friends through my social media. It's consistency with the follow-ups. It's consistency at running challenge groups, at showing up in my challenge groups so that, my customers can count on me and they know that I'm going to be there. It's consistency with drinking my Shakeology daily. It's my own personal journey and my workouts. It is the consistency and all of those moving parts of the business that actually are what make this thing work. And I'll tell you, I really do look at that. I've always looked at it, even from day one when I signed up to be a coach and I was working this business from my kitchen table of our townhouse and I was raising my babies. I looked at it as a business. And so I would schedule out my business hours. So even taking it a step further and your consistency in when you're going to build your business. I have a Google Calendar and a paper planner, and I block out this time to say, what are the activities that are going to produce the results as far as income and new customers and rank advancements? And I focus on that. And then over time, it is saying to myself, don't ever lose sight of those basics. Don't ever leave that square one. And as long as you always focus on the activities that build your personal business first, you will always continue to grow. And it's, 365 days for the last 6.5 years. And that really does create the compound effect that Darren Hardy talks about in his book. And it's just having that mindset of success is doing the unsexy, unbeautiful things every single day so that you can have the things that you want in the future. And so, that, and I even look at consistency from showing up for my team, showing up for team calls, making sure that I'm hosting trainings for them. And so, it's not like I started all of this on day one, but as the more that you are consistent, the easier it gets, the more natural it becomes. And you will find that you will just naturally add the next layer of your business as you grow. But just stay focused in those 4 vital behaviors and the basics, and be consistent with that. And I promise you, it will start to add up.
Yeah, and I think the key on this is someone might listen to this and go, yeah, but Mel, you're doing this, full time, all the time type of a thing. And, Keisha Fitzgerald on our Super Saturday video did a great job yesterday about talking about the power of part-time as well. And to find the moments that you can build your business. And yes, you can do that consistently and correctly as well, and see where it builds. But it is that consistently, it's learning to do it correctly, and obviously correctly over time, and you will learn that. Right. And you said, there's a quote that I just love. You talked about Darren Hardy talking about not doing the sexy thing, and it really is this. The successful people are willing to do those things that the unsuccessful aren't willing to do. It's not that they necessarily like them doing those things any more than the other guy. It's that they're willing to do them. And there is unsexy for everybody, but the successful are willing to do them. And that's what consistency looks like. So coaches, just one last question, Mel, and we're going to wrap here. But 6.5 years later, we've become dear friends, and your family, Matt, dear friends. We can consider you be just right up there, with the best of the best. But for you, how has Beachbody changed your family's life?
Well, wow. In so many ways, Beachbody has changed our life. And I didn't come into the coaching business thinking that I would be where I am today. I really did come in, and on day one, when I filled out that Getting Started Right sort of interview form, I wrote on there that I wanted to transform one person's life. And that was my definition of success as a new coach. There wasn't a dollar amount that was associated with that. But if I look over that journey and as I realized the potential of this business, and as I started to allow myself to say, okay, if the sky's the limit, if anything is possible, what would I want to accomplish? And I set out to make some of those things happen. I look over the past 6.5 years, and Beachbody has given our family some amazing opportunities. It's allowed us to have the flexibility to bring Matt home from a full-time job so that we can co-run this business together. That allows us to travel and do fun things as a family. It has allowed us to pay off all of our debt, to help our children be set up for their future. And if they want to go to college, it's allowed us to make some of the best friendships in the world that we would have never even had the opportunity to meet people if it wasn't for Beachbody. It's given us such great growth in leadership. It's allowed us to just look at the possibilities beyond just going to work and collecting a paycheck, but really doing something you're passionate about. And I look at what this business has done for our kids too, and that we are setting the example for our 2 boys that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and that if you want to follow your dreams, that you can do that and you can be successful. And Beachbody is an amazing company, and we are right in line with the values and the mission and the vision that this company has, and we really feel blessed by all of you there at corporate and all of the coaches in the network. And we can't imagine anywhere else that we would want to be. We've just really grown as individuals in this process.
Well, well stated, and thank you so much. And I just want to congratulate you on being the elite, not only just an elite coach, but in the elite 10 and the top coach for 4 years running. And you've touched so many lives. Love how you do this and what you represent. And thank you for being willing to get on this call this morning and sharing. And again, people, if you want to just drop by for lunch, Mel's always available in Mars, Pennsylvania. So thank you so much, Mel.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, coaches, this has been a fun new format for us. This video format, and of course, this will be on podcast. It'll be available in a bunch of ways. But if I were to wrap this, again, Melanie has given some great thoughts and some great insights from consistency, doing things correctly, from reinventing yourself. The top coach 4 years in a row, having to reinvent and having to figure things out, and this sense of the pride for who Beachbody is and aligning with values. I'm not much of a Hollywood guy, but I was watching the Golden Globes last night. And I was watching the speech that Oprah gave, and I just thought it was this incredibly powerful speech. And there was a piece that I'll take out of context to apply for my own selfish personal reasons. But she was talking about the power of speaking your truth, and that it's the most powerful thing that you've got. And as Mel shared, she said the key thing that you have to have as a new coach is to develop that clarity, develop that vision, to develop that passion and purpose of who you are. And I fully appreciate that doesn't always come at once, but it can come, and it's worth spending some time on. But if you have that truth, that piece that you feel so passionately about, and if Beachbody plays a role with that, which you're on this call, so my assumption is that it does, is that you then speak that truth, that you be proud of that you be courageous about that you be unrelentless about that, and that you be unapologetic about that in your inviting and in your sharing. Because if it's part of your truth and you feel strongly about that and helping people and being willing to partner with them, and not just get them started, but to journey with them and to get them across the finish line, then this is something that can be wildly, and as Carl likes to use this word, stunningly, I love that word, stunningly rewarding in your lives in all of the ways that Mel just said. But here's what I found, is that purpose just doesn't happen to you. You just don't sit down and just write it out. Where your purpose is defined and refined, and where you gain clarity with it, is through action. That's where it gets real. So yes, you need to get started with this sense, maybe putting it on paper, but then you need to start. You need to go out, and it will come clearer as you act. Where does that opportunity present itself right now? this 80-day obsession opportunity that is taking the network and that is spreading like wildfire, you need to be aligning with that. That is the wind at your back. That's where you've got to draft off of it. And if there are people out there that you know, that you feel, that are speaking to you saying, man, I could help my brother-in-law, I could help that neighbor, I could help that coworker, they could benefit from this and learn and grow and develop, then this is the last few days, the last opportunities to help them take advantage of an opportunity to get fit, to be part of something, and to really go after and accomplish what they are looking for in their lives. And you get to be part of that. So coaches, let's make this a strong week. This is the national wake-up call. It's to wake you up to action and to contribution and to change and to creating results and offering solutions. That's what we do. With that, coaches, thank you. And again, thanks to Mel and Sandy. I don't know how to get off this call right now, but thank you to everybody.